out overthrew the ball.
You got to look at Mark Surhoff on the bench for the Garnets. Cannot be a happy young man at this moment. Applying the ice to the knee, the right knee. And now Armis on the Portchester side of the field is shaking up. Surhoff, we mentioned him, brother BJ in the Milwaukee Brewers organization, a catcher there. Some say he may be coming back next year to start for the Brewers. Well, we'll have more action right after this. 9:30 remaining in this final quarter. The Garnets and Rams tied at 7. We're back after this.
For over 100 years, the Red Cross has always been there. In emergencies when America needed us most. With a hot meal, a warm, dry place to stay, and a helping hand. But without your time and money, there would be no Red Cross. And where would America be without the Red Cross?
Double knot.
Well, some young fans out here today.
Some of the Rye fans, future cheerleaders and football players. As you get a look at Frank Cilio, number 14, and Michael Mack, number 12. Frank Cilio had a big punt return in the Ram win over Harrison that set up the go-ahead touchdown scored by Art Riccozzi.
So when we come back to live action, they're still working on Armis at about the 48-yard line. Do not have word of what the injury is to Armis as he lunged for that pass off the halfback option from King. We will update you on any injury report that we get as soon as possible. But it'll be 4th and about 5 for the Garnets at their own 37-yard line. You get a look at the huddle of Rye as we await what is the injury to Tom Armis.
I'll tell you, and as we look at Rye there, I like those uniforms. It makes them look mean and tough. And, I like that, black uniforms. That's why the Raiders, part of the Raider image, makes you look a little tougher.
Joe is indeed impressed by the little things in life. You get a look at the Rye Marching Band, all 13 or so of them.
Did a great job at halftime. As you can see, we do have a full house here in Rye, New York this afternoon. I tell you, this new conference, Steve, that we have this year, I think is tremendous. I think to be able to see games like Rye and Portchester, Harrison and Portchester, Harrison or Rye are exactly what high school football is all about. I mean, who wants to go to play over the bridge in Nyack when you can come down and play Rye if you're Portchester, and vice versa. Rivalries are great.
Get a look at some of the cheerleaders for Rye. Armis finally up on his feet, not walking on his own power. I believe it is the right leg of Armis that is bothering him at this juncture. Does not look good at all for Armis.
Taking him and Surhoff out of their offense will really hurt Rye and cut down on some of the things they'll probably want to do.
Defensively as well, Surhoff has played a fine game, and so has Arnis at their outside linebacker position. And now he's using his own power, and that gets a rise from the crowd.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him back in there. I have to say, too, that the crowd today has been great on both sides. A lot of cheering, a lot of yelling and screaming, which you should do, and a very well-behaved crowd this afternoon.
I'd like to remind everybody you're watching Adams Russell Cable Sports, our high school football game of the week from John Nugent Stadium in Rye. It is the Rye Garnets hosting the Portchester Rams. Steve Orlovitz with you, along with Joe Archino. So it is 4th and about 5 along 5. Joe King, the deep man, they work this punt, an unusual way to punt, but they do so. This is King. Cilio lets it go. Michael Mack takes a look, but he's going to stay away, and they down it at about 30-yard line. So the Rams won't have bad field position as they get the ball once again. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
One of the reasons they may try to punt the ball that way is if you're Portchester, it keeps you a little more on guard because they do have the option of running a play off of that. Maybe they have trouble with their snaps from center. That could be the other reason.
9:22 remaining in this final quarter. Chris Hogue now running onto the field for the Rams to get their offense going. I would not be surprised to see Albanese have Hogue coming out here and throwing.
Well, it would be against the character of the Rams to do that at this point. You know, with the backs they have, you wouldn't be surprised to see him try and get a drive going here.
Well, this is Billy Chris running outside, and don't let me call the play for you. Nowhere to go for Chris. as Giglio was there defensively. He had a quick look at Armis, and I think he's going to be coming back in.
Yeah, he got about 10 yards from the sidelines. Everybody had helped him off the field. Heard the crowd, got his blood going a little, and I do think you're going to see him back in the game.
They put an extra pad in
cooler
his,
right now, getting ready.
Half muscle area. And the word that we had was just a muscle cramp, and having a bit of Gatorade is Tom Armis.
Well, that's one way to get a drink.
Just stick it over your head. I know that's a tradition the New York Giants do when they win a game. Second and about 11 for the Rams. This
option
is Mack
pass.
on the option pass. Mack's going to take it and run, trying to turn the corner, gets outside, brought down out of bounds. And Mack runs into a water cooler, but apparently is okay. Pickup of about 4 on the carry by Michael Mack. They have the option going that time to Mack, who I believe in junior varsity played quarterback.
Yes, he was, and he did a great job for the JV last year, and Coach Drew Sikori of Port Chester. You got to look at it here. He's trying to throw the ball, I believe, to Frank Cilio, who was well covered on the play. Decides to run it, makes a good run. The official should have been out of bounds there because he missed a late hit on that play there. Could have been, Rye got a break there. Could have been a penalty for a late tackle.
And Quinson was the man there defensively for Rye. So 3rd and 4 for the Rams at their own 37-yard line. Manresa split out to the far sideline. This is Billy Chris in the slot, Riccozzi and Mack. Hogue on the option, and he may have the first down on second effort. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, Steve. If he does that, and he does have the first down, that's a great effort by Chris Hogue again. Boy, that's the 3rd big play he's made today for the Rams. Set up the touchdown the first time on a rollout, handled the bad snap on the extra point, and on the 3rd down there was able to, when it looked like he wouldn't get the first down, made a second effort to go ahead for it.
So 1st and 10 for the Rams at their own 41-yard line. 7:50 now remaining in this final quarter. We're tied at 7. Joe King got Ryan first on the scoreboard first. 7:18 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Rams came back just at the start of the 4th. This is Dunn outside. And a good pickup for Dunn of about 5 yards.
He's gained yardage every time he's touched the football today. He's had a real good afternoon.
Cottaspoti was there defensively. Tom Cottaspoti, number 52 for the Garnets. A pickup of about 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5 from the Ram 46-yard line.
And number 30, Scott Davenport, just came in the game for the Rams. For the Rye fans who haven't seen Portchester yet, he is only a freshman, and we had an opportunity to see him run the ball in the 2nd game of the season. And he showed us that in a few years, Portchester is going to have themselves one heck of a back in young Scott Davenport.
So Davenport will go in slot to the left sideline now. Now he comes in motion. They go up the middle. Art Riccozzi drags a couple of bodies forward. A pickup of about 4 on the carry. That'll bring up 3rd and about 1. A long one for the Rams at about midfield.
Now, one thing, and we haven't pointed him out all day, and unfortunately I just think that's the nature of football. The Ram offensive line is really doing a good job today. And again, they are not the biggest group of people, yet they often seem to open those holes up for the Ram backs. And a good job up front, starting with center number 50, John Fortuno.
Frank Dentrone, the biggest man up front, 5'10", 210, at least as far as weight goes. Mack in motion, but they go up the middle to Riccozzi. Muscles forward, he has the first down.
Just put his shoulder and head down, followed his blockers, and picked up the first down. If you're Portchester, this is exactly what you want. You want to run the clock down, try and keep possession of the ball, and get in position for the go-ahead touchdown.
Giglio and King there defensively for Rye. Clock ticking away. You mentioned that, Joe. 6:07 now remaining in this final quarter. The Rams on the drive. They have 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line now. Momentum picking up perhaps just a little bit for the Rams.
No mistakes here. Neither Portchester can't afford one. Rye needs to force one.
This is Mack, twists and turns, and he made a nice play just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Sure did.
Winston on the tackle, but he had pressure initially from Giglio. Number 75, Nick Stavrides, was near the pile as well for Rye. Mack actually picked up half a yard on the carry. We'll call it 2nd and 10 from the 45.
Say two people who have to be very tired today, and there are a lot of players who are going both ways, have to be Joe King and Art Riccozzi. I mean, not only have they carried most of the offense for their teams today, they both play all the time on defense.
Riccozzi Little off tackle to the right side. Not much yardage there. Haney there defensively on the bottom of the pile. Now a big play for the Rams. Third and about 7 at the 43-yard line.
On the previous 2 first-down drives for the Rams, they had good yardage on first down. They didn't get it this time. Now they're in a 3rd and long situation. Big call, big time in the game. If Rye gets the ball back, still plenty of time for them to go to work and try to put the winning drive together. This is a big chance for big down for both teams right here.
Little misdirection inside, and a nice tackle by Ryan. I did not get the number. That was number 60, and that is Gunnar Huber. A nice leg tackle on Michael Mack. Otherwise, there was room up the middle for Mack.
Huber was on his back. Mack tried to jump over him, reached up, grabbed his legs, and brought him down. And I agree with you. If Huber did not make that tackle, I think Mack would have had the first down for the Rams.
Maybe a pickup of a yard for Michael Mack. It'll bring up 4th and about 7. Riccozzi back to punt. It is Joe King, the lone setback right now. And Riccozzi set the punt for the Rams. Not a bad punt as King back and grabs it at about the 10-yard line. Nowhere to go. Rams there defensively. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Garnets at about their own 15-yard line.
Big tackle, good coverage on that tackle by Bobby Thalheimer and John Joffrey. Joffrey, once again, the workhorse defensively, all over the place for the Rams. Inside linebacker, down on the special teams, tight end on offense. He puts in a day's work.
Get a look at head coach Rich Albanese. Well, this is it if you're a Rye fan. 3:53 remaining for the Garnets. You get a look at head coach Dino Gar giving some last-second instructions to quarterback Steve Riebling. Well, this is it. 3:53 remaining in the game. We are tied at 7. They have a long way to go. 85 yards for the score. You must remember, however, they get close and the time is running down. It could be Joe King deciding things for the field goal.
Coach Gar setting in his offense. He did bring in a good point. He said this would be Rye's last chance. With less than 4 minutes to go in the game, if Rye doesn't get a first down here or sustain the drive, they'll have to give it up, and it looks like Portchester might get the last possession. If you're Rye, you want to try and run down the clock. As we said with Portchester before, 4 minutes is plenty of time to move down and get in position to score.
Full house backfield. They send King, however, wide to the near sideline. They are looking for King, who is open. King and a first down at about the 26-yard line.
Boy, is that a gutty call or what? And again, I like that type of offense. You know, you're here to win the game. You're not going to sit back and be happy with the tie. And Coach Gar coming out. And I tell you, they may have had the hook and ladder play here. We'll see. I think you're going to see number 41 for Rye trailing the play right there. Maybe that's what they had planned if he had a chance to do it. But in the meantime, it was a great catch by King and a first down for the Garnets.
And he splits out wide to the near sideline once again. 1st and 10 from the 26. They are looking for King. King does make the grab at about the 40-yard line.
Steve, I'm telling you, they're setting that play up for the hook and ladder if they get the chance.
So another pickup of about 11 for the Garnets. And King again splitting out to the near sideline, picking up the pass from Riebling. And they have 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. And they're picking on Chris Ross over there defensively for the Rams. And King has been open. Let's set it up again. They do the same formation. Newman, the deep back out of the power I formation. They're going to set it up again. And Riebling is sacked this time, and a good play by James Wallace.
Well, I tell you,
split right through the defense, and Wallace gets the sack on Riebling.
Well, we said in the first half, he's had a good game today. But I'm going to give Coach Gar a little credit there. How many times do you see a team have a play that works for them and then stop using it? He was going to actually try that play for the 3rd time in a row. And again, I think you're going to have to watch. Newman is trailing that play. If King gets the chance after the reception, he's going to try and pitch it. And we should mention, King is the receiver taking Surhoff's place.
2nd and 19 from the 31, a loss of 9 on the play. This time they go up the middle to Quinson. Not much yardage, maybe a pickup of 1. Time ticking away, 2:13 remaining in this final quarter. And I'll tell you, that sack by Wallace may turn out to be the big play of this drive.
On that last play, not to change the subject, but John Joffrey really showed why he's as good a defensive player as he is. He just stepped in, filled that hole, and basically with one arm made the tackle there.
And we have a timeout on the field right now as Rye calls timeout with 1:57 remaining. Right here from John Nugent Stadium in Rye, New York, the Garnets and the Rams tied at 7. And when you think about it, you'd almost like to see at this stage of the game it end in a tie because both teams have played so well.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they gave us a great game today. I know I've enjoyed it.
I'd like to remind everybody you are watching Adams Russell Cable Sports. Minute and 57 remaining. Steve Orlovitz with you along with Joe Archino. Happy to be here in our first away coverage of the season for Adams Russell. And we are at Rye High School. Next week we will be at Portchester High School as the Rams face the Dutchmen of Tappan Zee.
Yes, I have to say, credit to Rye. This is a beautiful place to play and a great place to call the football game for you. Again, Steve, you mentioned it. The sack by Wallace really was the big play right now. Twice in a row, Riebling, who has thrown the ball very well, and I think he's only a sophomore, I believe, and you're nodding your head, yes, a sophomore who's really done a good job for them.
Well, they will have 3rd and 18 now from the 32-yard line. Big play. Surhoff limping back in, limping noticeably as he comes out wide to the far sideline. Now, we better be set up perhaps for some kind of screen. Surhoff.
He's got something planned here.
This is Riebling on the roll, looking deep. They have Surhoff, and a reception by Surhoff at about the 46-yard line, and a flag on the play, and I think that's going to go against the Rams.
I think so. Riebling with plenty of time that time, waited for Surhoff to get open, set himself, and made a great throw. That's 3 big throws by the sophomore quarterback, Riebling.
And we're going to get a look at that play again. Personal foul. You get a look at referee Bob Usher. And another penalty on the Rams. Let's get a look at that play again.
All right, you get a look here. He's going to roll out to the left, sets, has time, makes the good throw, and the catch, and there's the late hit right there.
And they are calling that on Mike Tamaro. I'll tell you, Mike Tamaro was there defensively for the Rams, but an excellent reception off the excellent throw by Steve Riebling to Mark Surhoff. And credit Surhoff coming off the bench, noticeably limping. He got open, however, and he split receivers. Joe King, actually King in at tight end now. Just what you don't want to happen if you're a Ram fan. A penalty adding extra yardage. This is Riebling back deep at about the 31. And he's got a man open. That is Giglio down to about the 23-yard line. A minute and 39, clock running. We have a timeout on the field right now. Clock running here.
I'll tell you.
And I think we're going to have a measurement here that may be close to the first down.
And we may be getting set up for a field goal. Now you're going to get a look at the replay there. Riebling rolling to his right this time, finds his back, and then picked up close to 10 yards. Now we were watching, and we mentioned early on, Joe King with a good leg, and if Rye gets close enough, keeps the ball in the middle of the field, I'd say it'd be a dramatic way to end this game with a field goal attempt. I'll tell you, great effort here today by both teams.
So
really
first and 10 for the Garnets at the 21-yard line. A minute and 32 now remaining. The clock ticking away. They have a good field goal kicker in Joe King. Split receiver. Surhoff split far to the right side. Working out of the power eye. This is Riebling. He's got Giglio now. He's going to take it himself. He's got a lot of running room, and he is pounded by the Rams on the hit. Art Rakosi kept him in bounds, but a pickup, a good pickup of about 7 by Riebling. Clock still ticking.
They're going with no huddle here, right up to the line.
Split receivers are missing Surhoff. They go quickly. They throw it out of bounds just to stop the clock. Less than a minute now to go. 57 seconds, and we're going right down to the wire.
And how about the performance by the quarterback of the Rye Garnets in this drive, number 10, Steve Riebling. He's done a superb job here in this drive, showing a lot of cool, and that play right there might not have looked like nothing, but got his team up to the line, didn't have to waste a timeout, threw the ball out of bounds to give himself time. Got to watch for the a delay of game penalty here.
Well, let's set it up for you. 3rd and 4 from the 15-yard line. The Garnets on the drive, less than a minute to go, 57 seconds. You have to respect the leg of Joe King. They split Surhoff way out wide to the near sideline. King in at tight end. Newman the deep back out of the power eye. This is Riebling looking, nearly picked off by Michael Mack.
Oh boy. Oh boy, that would have been 6 points, and boy, would that have changed things around. Mike Mack, the safety, sat back, read that play, and almost made the big play for the Rams.
And we'll get a look at that again, as it was all real estate that time for Michael Mack, had he been able to pick it off.
I'll tell you, the whole booth here jumped up in the air on that play. We all saw it coming. And Mike Mack almost had a chance, almost made a big play just to stop it. You're going to see it here. He reads the play, Riebling moving inside, and Mike Mack gets his hand in front of there to knock it down. Oh, boy.
And I'll tell you that, indeed, Mack has good speed. That was touchdown written all over it.
All
Had he been able to
over.
hold on. So now it is 4th and 4 from the 15. What do you do if you are Rye? Do you go for the field goal?
That's why I'm not here. I'm up here and not down on the field. This is a tough decision.
Well, I think.
Well, let's see. The ball is
Well,
on.
I'm not going to think here for the moment.
Yeah,
we'll
don't
wait.
think. That's dangerous. This
We
game's
will
too
wait.
exciting. They're on the 15-yard line. Figure 7-8 yard drops for the kick. That would make a 33-yard field goal. That would be. That's fairly long. And it's going to be actually a 30. Spotting it at the 27. It'll be a 37-yard field goal attempt. I'm sorry, a 32-yard field goal.
32-yard field goal attempt from Joe King. 52 seconds remaining. The snap is good. The kick is up.
Got a chance. Oh,
And it's wide. Not enough leg that time from Joe King, and it was wide to the left side. The snap and the hold was good, but King not able to boot it through.
And it's not over yet. I tell you, Joe King has nothing to be disappointed about, though. He's had an excellent afternoon here today. You get a look at him there, a little disappointed, a lot disappointed, I'm sure, but he's had a great day. I will see it again. Get a chance to look at it. Good snap, good hold, just hooked the ball. And you see it was well short.
Even if he had straightened that kick out, it would have been about 7 or 8 yards short. So the Rams have 47 seconds to go for them. Offensively, they start at their own 20-yard line. Let's see what they have in their arsenal right here.
Now let's not forget, Hogue was hit trying to pass in the first half and did fumble.
Well, they go up the middle to Art Riccozzi, a pickup of about 7 on the play. And you hear some smattering of boos from the crowd. We are tied at 7. 30 seconds now remain. I think the Rams are comfortable to let the clock run out here.
Well, it's Coach Albanizio's decision.
20 seconds to go. And the Rams letting the clock tick away. 15 now. Dunn goes in motion. They go up the middle to Art Riccozzi. The Rams content to sit it out. 5 seconds. You get a look at the clock on your screen running down.
Well, maybe you're
And that's
figuring
it.
Art Riccozzi's
Well, we
always
may
a
have
threat
one
to go
more
all the
play
way,
left.
but
Let's see.
but a conservative
Timeout,
way,
Portchester.
of going out if you are Portchester.
Well, they say 1 second left at the clock. Dino Garr running off the field, but
It's going out.
The timeout.
Timeout.
well, Portchester looking for one final play here. Maybe they're waiting to set it up right here.
And I'll tell you, you have to be in Coach Albanizio's head right now to really try and figure out why he may be taking the conservative side out. If you look at the rest of the schedule, Portchester has it a little easier than Rye does. Rye still has to play a very capable Woodlands team, and they have to go up against their other rival, Harrison. And we saw Harrison last week, and they are a much improved football team over the first game of the year when they were beat by Hackley. So, maybe that's in his thinking. He knows he's got it a little easier schedule-wise, and just hoping that he can stay where he is, and Rye may get beat down the road.
So this, by all accounts, should be the last play of the game for the Rams, although I would not be surprised if they let it loose right here.
Well, similar situation, the end of the first half. He tried to throw a little up pattern to Frank Cilio.
Manresa split out wide to the far sideline now. And they are indeed passing. This is Hogue looking for Manresa, and he's got him open, but he's not going to get nearly enough yardage. Knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line, and that is it. That should be the final play of the game. And indeed it is, as the clock winding down. So your final score here from John Nugent Stadium in Rye is the Garnets and the Rams tied at 7. Again, it was Joe King with a 2-yard touchdown run in the third quarter with 7:18 remaining, which got Rye on top first. Then it was Michael Mack, a 3-yard touchdown run just underway in the fourth quarter at 11:18 to the fourth quarter, which tied it for the Rams, and that all-important extra point by Sean Ducher, which hit the bottom of the goalpost and rolled over, which tied it at 7. And that's the way it stayed for the remaining part of this fourth quarter as Joe King missed a 32-yard field goal. So we will be back with a quick wrap-up for you right after this.
Help and harm are two sides of the same tablet. So please be careful with any medication. Follow directions. Don't take someone else's prescription. Some medicines are dangerous or useless when taken with alcohol or certain other drugs or foods. So tell your doctor about all drugs you're taking and ask what to avoid if he gives you a prescription. You know, medicines can help or harm. It's up to you to use them wisely. This message is from the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Okay, once again, right here from John Nugent Stadium in Rye, New York. Your final score was the Rams and the Garnets tied at 7. Just your initial impressions after the game here.
Well, I thought it was a really well-played game. There were some mistakes on both teams' part, but I think they really played well. I tell you, for Rye, I became a believer in their young quarterback. I thought in the drive that they moved the ball down the field and almost got the go-ahead touchdown. He did a super job. The play that really stopped Rye the last time they had the ball was the sack by number 63, Jim Wallace.
So they came right back, however.
Came right back and just weren't able to make the field goal. Portchester, on the other hand, came back after Rye's touchdown. They responded well to being down and came back. And I think Coach Albanesio's thinking, a lot of people may have wondered why he wasn't going to try and score when he had the ball with about a minute and a half to go. Again, he's tied right now. He's got an easier schedule. It's going to be a bit tougher for Rye to end up tied with the Rams, down the road.
And the Rams and Garnets now with records of 4-0-1. The Rams 3-0-1 in the league. The Garnets at 2-0-1 in the league. You mentioned the schedule a little tougher for the Garnets as they head down the rest of the year. One thing I did want to mention, the first half, key series. Rye had it first and goal at the 4-yard line. Joe King, a lot of controversy on that play. At least the word was down on the field. The Rye coaches thought the Riebling pass to Joe King, which the Rams stopped at about the 1-yard line. A lot of people thought that had been a touchdown.
Yeah, we had the chain people up here at halftime. They felt King got in there. It was a great play by Mike Tamaro, stepping up to even come close to making the stop on that play. And Harrison wasn't able to score there. Portchester then was able to get the ball, move it out, and run out the half on that play. So a missed opportunity for Rye and a big break for Portchester. Not a big break, a big defensive stand by Portchester.
So once again, your final score here from John Nugent Stadium in Rye, New York. It is the Rams and the Garnets tied at 7. For Joe Archino, I'm Steve Orlovitz. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.